going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? We are in Juta,
Braam.
the capital of Swank.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? And today we've got another episode of Spovas Stuff,
Come on.
live and direct, from the capital of Fontaine.
Truth.
Yeah, today's a very special episode, guys. But I'm
Very
not
special.
I'm not rolling alone,
It's your boy Kelvin X.
How? And guys, today we got a fucking amazing guest. You know what I'm saying?
Play.
Global guy, worldly you understand, well-traveled, well-resourced in the art of getting things done and making things happen,
Mm-hmm.
active participator,
Contributor.
there, outside.
A leader.
Captain of We Are Outside.
Sure. The captain of Let's Get It Done.
What can I say? The head boy of all the greys.
Bro.
Zaid Osman.
Come on, man.
Come on.
What an
Yeah.
You was adding in. Nah, dog. We appreciate the time, bro.
Of course.
We know you're a busy bro, and we've been trying to rock this for a long time.
No, wow, yeah. I think timing of this is so dope.
Mm-hmm.
Because the conversation that I think we want to have is so important. But yeah, man, thank you for being here, availing yourself. I want to jump straight in, man, because I think we're in the pop-up. It's in Juicer, you know what I'm saying? So location is important. There's a pop-up here, he's selling products, selling the shoes as well.
Yes, sir.
Damn. So selling the shoes as well. But I think more importantly than the pop-up is the man and the story, and we want to really get to the crux of that, bro, with you today. You know what I'm saying? So it's we know the shoes there, né? We know we're gonna get to that, but we're looking at the iterations. We're jumping straight in because you've done these convos. We don't want to repeat bundle. So when you were showing the iterations, there was different logos and stuff on the side of the shoe, there was a 2. So it's creatives are stubborn, though. We're stubborn people. How do you decide, okay, now I'm pulling back, this is what I'm going to do?
Hold on, what's the question?
To go from where you started to where it is now, from the shoe design perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I think looking at when I started the shoe to where it kind of ended, initially what I wanted to do was, I wasn't sure I wanted to release it under grade. I kind of wanted to do a Zaid line with the shoe. So the 2 was actually meant to be 2-aid, which ultimately means it was 2-aid world. So I think in a lot of the stuff that we do, it's very purpose driven. So it was cool, Zaid 2-aid world. And then it could have been a signature range under grade. Okay. So that was my initial thinking with it. So that's where the kind of 2 logo played with.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I built it out, I was looking at it a bit more and more. And then I was look, I might as well just produce this under grade and let it be a grade signature shoe, as opposed to kind of a Zaid range. And that's where I kind of landed, because I was nah, let me base it off grade GR1's grade 1. And ultimately from that, you can still build on, you can still have the GR1 Zaid signature line, and still have different collabs that you build within that space.
I feel Air Max is and then you got 90 and TN and that kind of thing. So when you're making that decision, are you alone? Do you consult people? Do you soundboard? I'm always interested in how do creatives get to a place? Is there someone that's nah, maybe not like this, or is it just you?
I mean, I do listen to people, I do bounce ideas off peers and friends from time to time, but also if I had done that with the shoes, they would have released a long time ago. Because every time I created a new sample, people are always yo, drop it, it's ready, keep it moved. So, and me, I'm always one that's yo, I want the product to get out. So it's never really always about perfecting it. It's yo, get it out and then you can build on it from there, because otherwise nothing ever gets done. So it's crazy, because where that shoe started was it was the first thing, the first 2-aid that we kind of produced. And the kind of aesthetic I wanted at the time it was very much that like Alexander McQueen fat soul. So that was always like, I've always played on like kind of the fat aesthetics. Like growing up, I was rocking Airwalks, I was rocking DCs, Etnies, and like there was this thing, I think it was not Recess or something, but I forgot the name of the brand, but they had like the grind shoes.
I think I remember that.
It had like the grind print underneath. And that was me growing up in the States. So it's like always like into skate culture, because like my older brothers would like rollerblade.
Yeah.
So like we would always be at the skate park. I would like mess around with BMX from time to time. But just like always at the skate park every like weekend, you know, we there like just having fun with it. So I think a lot of that inspiration of the shoe came from that. And then as I was building it out a bit more, like you run into a lot of issues. Like, for example, that McQueen Soul type vibe could only go up to like a US 9 on the soles. So then there's like a lot of stuff that you have to work on and be like, shit, like, cool, what is available? You know, what are our options? What are stuff that's also not trademarked?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, like, it will be patent, it will be all of those things that you can't really use. And then I was like, nah, like, cool, did like a few samples of that one. But even in that, it was like, I was always working through someone else, like another guy that had to connect to a factory type thing. So pricing, all of that stuff was always high. And I was like, nah, like, they also want a lot of units. And I'm like, nah, it just doesn't make sense to do that at the moment. Then like explored a bunch of stuff, like explored local manufacturing with some of the shoes. I think there was 2 samples that were local manufactured, and it just wasn't on par with the quality that I needed.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because every time you're sampling, it costs money.
True.
You know? And even in that, it was like the materials we're using in those sampling were like always PU.
Yeah.
So quality is like obviously one of the big drivers.
100%. So I was like, you know what, like, you know, let's keep it moving. And it's like, I mean, a lot of brands use PU like all the time, and I don't think there's anything really wrong with it. But for me, I was like, nah, like, I'm going to wait till the time is right, sample it a couple more times. And then you realize like, oh shit, like 7 years later,
Dang.
like the shoe still hasn't dropped.
Dang.
Like, you know, earlier this year, after like getting all of those samples, because I would play around with colorways, doing them, just like, it's not there yet, or I'm not happy with the quality yet, or all of these things. So I went to China earlier this year, and I was just like, you know what, let me go look at factories. Let me just kind of like introduce myself to these guys, because these are factories that make a lot of shoes for a lot of different brands, you know, across the globe. And told them like, yo, this is what I wanted. This is what I want to do. And then they're like, yo, okay, cool. Like, you know, first step, like use a rubber sole so people can actually skate it.
Crazy.
So it was like those aesthetics. And
is that like the move away from or one of the factors that's informing to move away from the initial
Design.
Alexandra?
Yeah.
Like, so
I mean, I think the McQueen sole also at the time, it was like, also like very overused. Like a lot of brands were coming out with that aesthetic, you know. So I also felt like shit, we may have missed the bubble within that space. So I was like, nah, you know what? Let's bring it down into something that can be a timeless classic, something that, you know, has a few tweaks, but something that can still, you know, we can look at like 10 years later as a Bape, as an Air Force One, as all of those type of shoes that are timeless ultimately, you know. So if I look at the shoe, like a lot of the aesthetic is definitely based off like early 2000 skate culture. There's also some aesthetics that's based off basketball culture, you know. A lot of similarities as well to the Air Force One. But I think with a lot of stuff, it's like I wanted to create something that is uniquely ours, and also something that's, it's timeless, and that we can build on different colorways. We can build on more collaborations. If I look at something like the Bapester, you know, we do a lot of collaborations with Great. You know, we've done stuff like Powerpuff, stuff like Space Jam, Coke, etc. And when you also look at those brands, it's like, yo, they also, you'll get a Batman.
Yeah,
Sneak.
exactly.
So
Iron Man vibes. Wow.
yeah, 100%, so like for us, it was like, okay, cool. Also now building a silhouette, building a shoe that can be timeless. We can eventually collaborate on it as time progresses as well. And then I was like, yeah, like, I think the move from the McQueen kind of soul to the more skate style, I was like, yeah, it's also like a bit more inclusive. It's more something that people can rock, people can mess with. And a classic silhouette that we can really build on.
Yeah, you did a lot of samples. I remember there's one that looked like was like almost like ice cream, like it was green, pink, and other colors. How many of those did you go through before you actually settled on this silhouette now?
Yo, I think we did like maybe like 8 or 9 different pairs.
Yo.
And again, like playing with different colorways, playing with all of that. And then once we got this silhouette, I think we did like 4 different sample runs on this silhouette. Because when you get the shoe, I think I got like the first sample maybe like May or June this year, right? And I took it with me to Paris. It just arrived before then. And there was just like a couple of different things that I wanted, the first one, like the G on the side, was like almost like a vinyl type patch, and I was like, nah, like I want it to be stitched on. Also the feel of the shoe, on a lot of shoes, like when you would, like if you would squeeze the shoe, it would kind of like bend. So I was like, nah, like I want something that's harder, so then the sole also, and it's crazy because when I tell the factory this, they already know those things. It's just like, oh no, it's a pressure setting. It's it's like all stuff that's like quite easy to change.
You mean like from manufacturing, it's kind of like troubleshooting they've already got, so they can kind of rectify those things.
100%. A lot of the stuff, it's like it's conversations with them of like, this is what I'm thinking, and then they'll even send you examples like, okay, cool, you know what, this is what we did for this brand, this is what we did for this brand. We can kind of use similar technology in those spaces.
That's good.
And then for me, like on the shoe, like I always wanted the zip tongue.
Yeah. You're trying to hide it, bro. Why you? That's what just being else.
No, 100%. And it's crazy because if you look at like some of the earlier samples, like even like the local production on it, it was the funniest thing because I always briefed it like all of them have it, all of the samples have it, but then like the factories will kind of like do it their own way.
Yeah.
Like one of them that I did, it was a local one. It just had a zip, but no bucket. So
Zanzi shortcuts. Yes, Zanzi shortcuts.
And then like some of the other ones was the zip was there and it moved nicely, but it wasn't like concealed. So it's like you could see the zip there.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, like I need a concealed zip pocket, And look, I mean, it has been done before on a lot of shoes, mainly like SBs. Because like me, I'm a big fan of SBs. That was like always my shit growing up. Camping outside of stores and doing all of those stuff for like different sneakers.
Favorite SB? Oh, you say on the SB? Your favorite SB of all time?
So the one shoe that like I always wanted was the purple pigeons.
Yeah.
So the pigeons were obviously the one that like caused the riots and all that stuff.
Yeah, no.
And then there was one that kind of like, I think it released like maybe like 5 years after that, which kind of like slipped through the radar and it wasn't even expensive.
Which one was that?
And the purple pigeons. So it's like gray with the purple swoosh and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a very like calm shoe. It's not even crazy, but like I've always wanted that shoe and I've just never gotten my eyes on it or like my hands on them. That was always cool. Stuff like the What the Dunks, I think.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like at the time, like the What the Dunks were always expensive, but they were like maybe you could get them maybe for like $800, which is still a lot of money.
Even now.
Now you're looking at like $8,000.
Okay, side. You must relax and be like, come on, bro.
But it's so interesting to hear, like obviously the process to get to like where the shoe was, but actually like what I'm really fascinated about is because like Dunks were like skated it, and also like the shoes that you're mentioning, like Airwalks and that kind of thing. It's like there's often with footwear, there's a lot of sports influence that goes into that. It's not just like a lifestyle aesthetic thing, and it's so cool how that translates into like something functional, even like how you're saying you wanted the thing to be firmer. And I don't know how, like for you, obviously you're informed by those things, but I like I think the silhouette will stand the test of time, and like from a collaborative perspective, like it's such a great platform and canvas to do a lot of things. But I don't know if you agree with what you think, but like the fact that it has like some functional almost background makes it so that it's more accessible to people. It's not like you know with the McQueen, it's like very like a luxury shoe, and this does almost feel like more people will be able to be like, you know, see themselves in it, you know. I don't know. I'm not even asking you a question. I guess that was like an observation I made. Yeah.
Yo, man. I like this a great while because I relate more. Also, grew up skater vibes, even worked at a skater store. Those shoes were moving like hotcakes. It's amazing to see now because there's a lot of baggy clothes and like big shoes, like dad shoes. And now the gray kind of like, it's almost like perfect timing.
Perfect.
Because now the youth in them, that's the type of stuff they're into. They can be reintroduced to the silhouettes that we're talking about, like the SBs and all that. You know, for you as a shoe guy, like the person who wears shoes all the time, like how did you even be like, yo, man, this is the silhouette I really, really like? Is it because of the fits, or you were like, you know what, this reminds you of when I was a lighty, and then you're like, you know what, this is what I need to make? Or you were just thought like, this would be a perfect shoe for now? Because you went through all of these, but this one, you're like, this is actually it.
Yeah, it's crazy because like a lot of people, they're like, yo, the shoe is like you in a shoe. That's literally what you would make hell of it. It's like, yo, it's literally me in a
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, the chubby vibes and everything is hey, you know.
Cozy, comfy,
100%
flash, you know,
100%, you know. But I mean, I think it's kind of like you look at it in a few different ways, right? Because one is a lot of
Nah, I don't want to.
I don't worry. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
We're in the cut. We'll be play.
You test 3, never forget.
Don't play, bro. It's really going on out here, bro.
Nah, it's loud.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, I think a lot, like you look at all of it, right? Because one, you also look at like where the industry is kind of moving right now. It's kind of like that old school skate aesthetic is definitely coming back. You see it in a lot of shoes. Like even if you look at like the Amiris, I think the MA1s or something, the stuff like the LV skate, yeah, all of those stuff, you know, it's definitely just little that is quite relevant currently, you know. And I mean, I think it's I look at it a few ways. Like, okay, cool. It's knowing that, okay, cool. One, it's kind of in the right path and in the right kind of conversation around that. But then two, it's like, it's literally me, you know, it's literally something that I would have worn this shoe 5 years ago, like 10 years ago as a kid, or, you know, like 20 years ago. And it's something that's like, I think it's, like I said, like something that you can build on, you know, kind of play around with a bit more. And it's cozy, man. Like, I won't lie, like each of the samples that I got, they were like actually comfortable. It was like, oh shit, like I can actually rock this thing constantly.
Comfy was the one. It was the gold.
Yeah, 100%. Just something cozy, something I think also like represents South African footwear.
Yeah.
You know, in a space that like there's a lot of like kind of gimmicky stuff going on.
Oh, you fair.
I want to get that. Get paid.
I think no, like just write that point out because yeah, we want to kind of stress test that idea quite a lot. No, but yeah, continue.
And I mean, it's something that like, you know, if I look at like the sneaker culture, like even locally, no one can really tell me anything about it.
Nobody's really.
It's something that we orchestrated.
Nobody.
From day one up.
From where he's at.
So I think it's very much like natural progression, you know? So like I said, like even streetwear and all of the stuff, it's a culture that we're playing in.
Yeah.
You know, and take the shoe aside, take all of those stuff aside, like my name will remain in that conversation.
Definite. Definite.
So I mean, I think like it's just natural progression of the shoe and taking it to the next step. And I mean, with everything, it's like, it's really pushing that narrative of like, yo, your dreams are valid. Like, go out there and chase them.
Shout out.
Because right now, like, we don't have any retailers supporting the drop.
Crazy. What's wrong with you guys, man?
Like, and that's insane.
It is.
You know, because it's like, guys, like, do you guys not see what this moment is?
This is bigger than us, eh?
You know? And it's crazy because like a lot of these buyers, a lot of these retailers and all of them, it's like, they know me, I know them.
Yeah, you spun with them.
You know? I used to buy out all of their Jordans and get discounts for doing it.
Yeah.
You know? Before the raffle system, before all of that shit, you know? So, and it's like, yeah, like I've reached out to a couple of retailers and it's crazy because
What's their like tone?
bro, like the one retailer I reached out to, like, yo, it's such an honor. Thank you so much. Like, yo, thank you so much for even considering us. Da 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 da. Let's see how we can make it happen. Then Mize. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, sure, like, cool. Maybe you guys are busy. Maybe all of those things. But I went to them just to be like, yo, there's this project coming out. Can we see what we can do? You know, let's see if there's any opportunity. Have a conversation.
I think it's a lie. To say busy though, you can see what this thing is.
Right. He's using that word.
And then they'll come up to you, like they'll see you outside. Yo, props, man, you're doing the things. And
But like, where's the order? Come on, where's the order?
Especially for a person like yourself, like you, a sneaker lover, you were like, okay, cool, I need to move shoes. You started from a platform, like you continuously just create things because you like
Natural progression.
yeah,
nobody's helping or doing this, so I'm gonna do it myself. All the way to a store, bro. So like these other guys, with or without you.
But you know, on another show, I remember I said this. I was referencing you in particular. I was saying people like Zaid have to do this thing on their own because there isn't support. There isn't like visible support. And to me, it's like, it's baffling why these people are not like calling you and saying, yo, how can we get more orders of that? Because I mean,
buy them out.
Like, from a business perspective, if they make the order, then you can also produce more and you can increase like, you know, how many you produce. And I don't know, man. I guess that's where the thing is now. It's just like, why? And it's not support like a handout, dog. It's like growing the industry in a way that is gonna create like more local product. Because like, okay, now I'm gonna talk about it. Like, you've got these other brands and like there's like billboards all over the place and like opening mad stores and like, but the product doesn't connect like with the people in the same way.
Yeah.
But the access to the resources like so much, and it's like, who's judging like
What's going on?
like, and what's dope though, obviously it's like, it's the people in the streets, but how come that like doesn't translate? I guess from your side, like, do you have an insight into why that? Because as a consumer, I'm like, this is madness.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have like all of the answers to that, to be honest, because it's the fight that we fight every day. You know, yeah, this stuff is 100% independent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, from everything that we do, it's like, yo, we finessing, moving, yeah, doing that, operating, yeah, like, you know, closing eyes, yeah, like, to keep this thing alive.
Try to keep us alive.
And again, with that, it's like, yo, like, with a lot of these, even brands that come out, bro, there's like no consistency. No. You know what I'm saying? If you look at like the track record of Grade, or it's like, bro, like we're moving. You know, there's movement, there's motion in this thing that we do. You know, whether it's opening retail stores, bro. We were at Mall of Africa, we were at V&A Waterfront.
Yeah.
You know, like,
big tip.
What other independent brand is doing
like that? You know, in those big spaces.
In those spaces, and it's crazy because like when you're in these spaces and like we always like the smallest fry in the spaces. You know. The same thing, like when we would go to like Paris Fashion Weeks and all of these places, it's like, cool, we're still the smallest brand there, but
you did, though, you know? That's what we love about that.
I mean, I think that's also one of the things that like keep me going, because it's this thing of like, yo, this shit is representing our country.
Yeah.
This shit is representing our continent, you know? And for me, it's like, I'm always one to look at like, yo, how do we open the door in more spaces? Like, grade for me, I look at grade as being a platform where people must come through grade and ultimately outshine grade.
Absolutely.
You know, like it must be a funnel where people are coming in, whether you're a stylist, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a designer, whether you're whatever. It's like, yo, this is your time that you coming into the space, but because of the kind of network that grade has, you're then able to meet this person. You're then able to do this freelancing gig. You've then able to do all of these things. And then they will also look at it like, oh, okay, cool. Like, oh, you did this with grade? Okay, nice. Like, you know, because again, like we live in a country where there's so much talent, so that's a lack to resources, you know, so we just got to do what we can while we're also still trying to keep the shit alive.
You know, you said something about network and about the whole overseas situation. Like, do you feel the reception is different? What is it like, you know, when you're abroad? And going abroad, has that network assisted you in getting this product where it is right now?
I mean, I think it's like a few things, right? Because every time that like I go abroad, it's like, again, we would start small. Like we were in Paris, we did a pop-up within a thrift store, you know, had like a rail in the space. Fast forward a year later, we're doing a showroom space with 4 other SA brands. You know, that was a space, you know. So again, it's that progression space. But in each of these markets that I go to, it's like I want to start it at the ground up, so that small community, that small thing that you're building, also remember that shit. Like, oh, I remember you came here in 2018. There was like a small rail with just like this items. Now the gate, because you know, because that creates that emotional connection. And that also, again, like shows people that like, yo, like stay persistent on what you're moving, because the shit is gonna explode, you know. And then like also the people that come into the space, I think that's also like the kind of important thing with grade. It's like the people that actually mess with the brand. You know, it's like, cool, it might not be 100 million people, but that like the right people, you know, that 50 people that are there, like can actually move this thing and like influence this thing into it growing into that. And those people are also like well-respected individuals, whether they artists, whether they podcasters, whether they designers, whether they all of those things. Like, cool, they see it.
Yeah.
You know, they are aware of it. I mean, a lot of times it's like, cool, nothing happens from it. It's just the follow back. It's just the props. But it's like, okay, cool. Like when the time is right, like, you know, we'll figure something out shortly.
Do you think because you are such a independent person that actually gets the stuff done, and like, yes, you speak about the network, the people you've worked with, do you think there's a disconnect somewhere? Do you feel like those guys in there want to work with you, but I don't know, man. It's like I've had those experiences where like people see what you have done and they feel like you're a bit too much, or like you're guiding for their position, or like maybe they're in their teams, they don't see how tapped in you are. So it's almost like something that like doesn't let this thing go forward, because it doesn't make sense for a person like yourself that's done so much in the industry, that's so visible, being in public spaces like the mall and doing all this, not to be, let alone retail it at like these places. It doesn't make sense for me.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, for me, it's like, I think it's also like a bit of intimidation.
I think that's it.
You know, where it's like, okay, cool, like, is he trying to come in and take our position? Is he trying to, like, that type of thing? And then too, I think it's also just like having those conversations and having time for those conversations. Because again, it's like we've done many corporate partnerships, you know, where, cool, this is what we want, this is what we need, this is our KPIs, this is how we want it to go. Cool, this is what we need, and it works, you know.
But that's so selfish because, like, obviously it's transactional.
Yeah.
But because of that, the communication should be there.
Yeah.
The other conversation to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like they find to brief you on that thing, but like the other part of it where they feel like, nah, if they let you inside, it's like, I don't know. I always feel like they don't want cool niggas there by their thing, and it's like, why be intimidated? Because there's so much to learn, like, from each other. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. But also, like, if you look at, like, I guess a lot of these spaces, it's like these people haven't really been on the streets. They haven't really been outside and figuring it out. Like, bro, Braamfontein, like, these streets, I was out here in like 2010, 2011, running around street cred days, all of those days,
Good day.
Prefontaine days. Like, you've put in the work of being consistent in these spaces and, again, building it up.
Yeah.
And again, I've seen so much come and go, but yet we remain
Still.
So I mean, I think it's conversations, and I think there's a bigger picture, because I think there's like this pie is big enough for everyone to kind of play and to kind of build it out. And look, I mean, there has been conversations as well with retailers and all of these spaces. We've done some cool collaborations as well. We did a Al Capone collaboration a couple of years ago, which was crazy because that product was like, it was insane, because I think it was the most expensive t-shirt we sold, and I think we sold it at like 2.2.
Nice.
And again, it's like positioning of where it's placed. Like Virgil was like, yo, you can put the tin, it's where you put the tin thing, and the sell-through was kind of cool. Like, it moved units, so I mean, one thing that we're also looking now within Grade is looking at, like, cool, how do we tier the product a bit more? Because also in SA, like, a lot of the retailers, not like, there's a few high-end retailers, but a lot of it is mass retailers.
Yeah, most of them.
So it's like, cool, how do we also tap into that pie? How do we, without like diluting and damaging, the brand? But then you look at, like, I guess, previous partnerships that people have done, like the stuff that your H&Ms would do, your Zaras and Rude, those type of partnerships, So yeah, I mean, I'm always open to exploring and seeing, okay, cool, how do we get more eyes on the product? How do we get more visibility and kind of moving it forward as well? So
do you think because we know of your story, we've been there, we've pretty much invested in like everything that you're doing because you're pushing the culture, you're giving opportunities and all that. Do you think the outside market, like not like us, but like the general public know what you about and what you represent and what you're cooking? Do you think there's still that gap where we need to just...
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely still that gap, but like that gap also catches me off guard
Really?
at the craziest time.
And you're like, hey, maybe Zaid, this is why these guys are like, hey, no, like that.
It was like I'll be outside, like the other day, like I was in game and the very mod dude is like, yo, Zaid,
The guy with the mop in the aisle. That's crazy.
like at that time I'm just like in sweats.
That's real faith, yo.
What is
The very
the other day, like I was at where was this, like a dermatologist type thing, and like the receptionist, he's like, yo, Zaid. And like, so it catches me in like the most off guard places,
I know you're working.
but again, it's like,
so that's also the problem. The problem is the brand manager people, because this shit is clearly getting to the mass, like you're saying, like people.
yeah, but I mean, I think in the same breath, like I think there's a lot of people that also don't know it.
Yeah.
Because again, within this kind of space, it's how do I word this? Like, it's a space where I'm gonna continue moving. Like I don't really I'll do PR, but I'll do PR with like people that will reach out, or I don't have a PR agent that's like, yo, placements or this and that and all of those things. For me, it's like, yo, I'm gonna keep it moving. Or if there's a product, like, cool, here's a press release, like, push this shit. But in the same breath, it catches me so off guard at like so many different places. And then like, because me, I'll always go out thinking no one knows me. That's always my aesthetic, how I move. I'm just like, cool,
Humbly so.
But it's crazy because it's also like areas of like where you at.
Yeah.
You know, in Braam, like kids will stop the car. Yo, Zaid, like da da da. Like literally yesterday, like this kid jumped out the car. I was like, yo, hit the brakes. Like, oh, da, da, da. But again, I think it's like it's where it is, but it's crazy because there's obviously also a newer and younger audience that's now coming into the space. And that's also the crazy thing because those kids almost look at you like they're idol, like, yo, you far.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not reachable, like you're
Yeah,
you know,
you're not a
100%. You know, I did a talk the other day. It was in a primary school,
nice.
in Cape Town, Wynberg, yeah. And again, it was a mixture of kids that were there, like it was the first time they heard of me, and then like other dudes are asking me like, yo, like, what did this dude ask me? He asked me something about Ghana.
Wow.
You're like, yo, I saw you had a picture with Ghana, bro. Lights. And it's like, and you know, it's a crazy kid, like, Doug, with like kids in primary school and like younger kids, they so honest.
Yeah.
They honest. They're gonna ask you direct, like, yo. I was like, oh shit, like, you know, like, you know, I didn't even know how to like, what was going on. I was like, damn, you guys know this and this and this.
Nah, they're paying attention, bro. Yeah, you definitely pay.
Kid even asked for my autograph. I was like,
Zest now.
See what's going on here. Don't play with
Zest doing autographs now. He's protecting the future, okay?
Dog, don't play with this.
but then like, yeah, like platforms like SXC and those type of stuff, like, you know, kids there obviously will show a lot of respect.
Yeah.
Come up to you constantly, like, yo, thank you. And it's so dope.
I
because,
think
like,
it's sneaker exchange, bro. Like,
yeah.
you're really like a godfather in that mode, bro. Like, really, and like, I really like how they respectful. Like, obviously, they like, oh shit, yeah, this guy's doing this shit. Because sometimes, you know, like sneakerheads and like fashioners can be a little bit like too cool. But the fact that they like,
No, but you also get those. Like, you also get the ones that are just,
yeah,
you know, keep it moving. And then it's like you'll do something later down the line, then they're your number one fans, or like. Then like that's the craziest thing because it's like you'll just see how like people switch and like energy moves and like, yeah, I get it. People progress, you know. Maybe they getting married, having kids, life,
growth or something.
100%. But yo, like I get also like it's constantly like a lot of prompts, like, yo, man, you're doing too much, like, yo, shout out. And it's like, yeah, man, like I'll have time for that because it's like they see what you do, I respect. Yeah, it's mutual respect. But yeah, buy the product, man.
Buy the product.
At the end of the day,
Buy the product. I like the names, dog. I really love the names.
dog, you know, okay, I'm gonna let you go, but I was thinking it's grade 1. It took this guy 7 years. You in grade 1 when you're 7 years.
Well, it was
When you 5 years, you grade 1. Did you remember that?
Yes, I did it. That's why.
For you. But yeah, though, colorway.
I'm saying I love the names of it because obviously as a sneakerhead, we love the storyline. We love like how the product is delivered. We love how it's like taken out. A lot of people miss that part, especially like, yeah, those other guys we were talking about. Like they don't understand like the community, number one. They don't understand when they drop something, how it's released and the people that you choose. Like there's a story being told. And I feel like with these, you tell a great story. I like how you reference the beach with the Magani Day, the chalk, you know, and then obviously the sunset clear. I know what you're talking about. I have a billion photos of that on my phone on that sunset in Johannesburg. Like, yeah, I have a billion of this photo, bro. And so when you said that, I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. And then the other shoe, you're talking about like the valley vibes, and I'm just like, yo, man. This guy's actually put in the Sata DNA in the shoe. So I think a lot of people still need to understand which they will, because with stuff like this that we're doing, like everybody in the game that's actually giving time and coming to you and talking about the shoes, traditional media will catch up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we are here to make sure like our people and the people that actually care about these products, sneakerheads, all the Spovas, know why they're getting into this. This is why it's very important for us to tell your story and let these guys know why they need to buy the shoe. You're not just buying a shoe, you're actually buying like
piece of history, bro.
It's
a piece of history.
You're buying an idea that sparked, I don't even know when. Was it before Lost Property, or was it, I don't know, but like it's dog. The product is right there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's right there.
It's literally right there. Dog. The guy did everything. What else do you want to do? You buying that piece of history?
In
bro.
3 colorway.
Come on, dog. Which is wild. Dog. He said he didn't come with one. He said,
That was the part that really got me. It was like the colorways and like how they mapped. Cause like obviously being a sneaker guy, we like packs.
Yeah.
You know, like when it comes out, like, you know, like there's, you know, like something for everyone. And then what I'm really excited to see is like how people are gonna pair your apparel with the shoes. You know, like that kind of Putler way, like Palace way. That's like in my mind, like what's so dope, because, you know, starting from apparel and then obviously having shoes on your mind, and like it's gonna take more time to put shoes together, obviously, and then like now, you know, full circle. I'm really excited to see, like, you know, how these soccer shirts are gonna go with the Sunset Clay. You know what I mean? I did like editorial. I think that's gonna be like I guess the next frontier, like a super exciting moment, man. So
even just seeing them like in real time, like
Yeah.
the visuals. Like I saw what's his name? What's that kid? Young boy Vegeta.
Yeah.
And he was wearing that, and I was just like, yo, this is so dope.
it's real, like that.
This kid is in Jumbo, he's rocking the mpahla, and then somebody asked him, was like, yo, man, so what you get this? But they were asking about clothes. He's like, man, you know, I ain't got to buy clothes no more, man. You know, but they basically started telling you that, like, hey, Baba, you understand what's going on.
I ain't gonna buy clothes.
I ain't got to buy clothes no more, bro. But Zay, dog, we definitely see you, bro. Like, we definitely see you. And the more we talk about the journey, the more we share this thing. Because you saw this, they set me up at UJFF.
Oh,
Easy.
what happened?
That was fun.
I thought they set me up.
What's the homie's name?
What's that kid's name? Yo, damn, sorry. My mind is
I can see it. Mosca TT.
yeah, from I think so. We'll put his name out of person.
Yeah, nah. Cause like me, I'm at the office. Benji, the designer,
Yeah.
like he hits me up like, "Yo, can I borrow the shoe?" Oh, see you.
That's the fucking genius. I'll put this on me now.
So me, I'm like, yeah, cool, you know.
Hey, shout out to the kid though. That was great content. I loved it. I like no.
It's clever though.
Yeah, I didn't need to pull through, you know. And then you know, he's like, okay, cool. The show is about to start, and he's like, if anybody hasn't seen this, please go check it out on the socials. And he's like, okay, cool. Can you please, you know, there's that thing you guys do on the other show, Streetwear News, and he's like, please do the intro for us. So I'm like, okay, you're gonna do that. Shut up, Papa, let me do that. Tell him what I got on. I was pretty chilled. I wasn't going crazy. I was like, I'm going to radio, so I'm just gonna be calm. I get there, bro. I tell him what I got on. Dog, he's like, you didn't even tell me. Earlier on, though, I saw he was wearing Jordan 1s. I was like, okay, he's at the great tracksuits, and I was like, okay, you got your shit on, you know. Dog, he like pulls out those things. I'm like,
Goes under the table. Bam.
finish him,
Spit this guy up, bruh.
finish.
But we clocked you. You asked for the shoe from Z. Got the shoe and lay by. Yo, I love the commitment though. Too.
That's how far the kids are willing to take it.
You know what I mean? Like this guy felt like he had to go the distance. Yeah, and he was like, he's gonna get the grade 1.
John, and you know that was like,
Just down to this guy.
read. Like,
He was like, man, let me show him. Sir.
yeah. They got one up on me, but it's beautiful because I love it, though. We do it all the time, like where it's like you have to like be like competitive. That's literally how we are when we do these episodes. Not like on some foul shit, like on some like, yo, we want to show you how to put the combos, how much we love the combos. And I love how this kid set it up, man. Shout out to you.
But like, you know, like what's just so poignant for me in that is like, he didn't like go and get like some like off-white or something. He got your product, bro. Like that really says a lot about
It
life.
really supports us, like really. And pushes.
It's like, yo, he like chose that shoe to be the one to start on the guy. It's like the our impact is super real, right? And it worked. Yeah, it fucking worked, man.
I couldn't believe it. Because I only saw you wearing this. So I was like, man, how did this kid have this shoe? I'm not doing something wrong.
Now we know.
Now we know, but kudos to you, my dog. Appreciate you.
But okay, so I think we're leaving the best for last. Honestly, I think like now, tell us where people can get it. Like if there is like units left, like they must hurry. Like where's it at? Price point, all that kind of thing. Like yeah, I think in this moment we really want to use this time to be like, okay, to like really push the product, because like, you know, we believe, you know.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. So the shoes are going for 2.2. It's available greatafrica.com, as well as our Braamfontein pop-up that runs until the 21st of December. And then there's a couple of like Cape Town pop-ups and stuff that we have planned. Yeah, a lot of the stuff we just like put together. We're like, yo, next week we need to do that.
I like it. I like it.
Ideally, like, it's not how I really want to do it, because it's like, yo, we need to plan out these things more in advance. But it's also like, yo, we'll just get hit with like something and it's like, shit, we don't have this yet. We don't, you know? But yeah, so the sneakers are out, and yeah, they're going for 2.2. It's available here. Just like stay tuned to our socials. There's some really cool and fun, exciting stuff that we have this month as well. We have some guests that are coming from overseas that we're actually doing a collaboration with later this month.
Exclusive.
So yeah, just stay peeled, and it's gonna be crazy.
No, shout out.
Yeah, shout out, man. Yo, Zaid, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing all of that insight and knowledge. Guys, go and buy the damn thing. Go and get it. This is a top Christmas present.
Yeah, no, definitely.
This is a top Christmas present for your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your brother, sister,
Your son, your daughter.
everybody, dog. There's something for everyone. So make sure support local, guys, because it's not just about supporting local. It's like it is actually fire.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you, Zaid. Make sure you tune into Spovas and stuff. Tokyo Black signing off.
Calvin X. Shout out to +27.
Love.